What makes us human? Collaboration. It's in our DNA. When we work together and build on each other's ideas, we can create amazing things. When given the right tools, it's our creative, intuitive minds that will move us forward. Because the more we work together, the more human we'll be. This is Cisco.
It's a very different world today. A world of endless devices and demands. And you're never going to get above it all and impact it all by solving tomorrow's problems with yesterday's network. Introducing the help and advantage you need, digital network architecture from Cisco. Cisco DNA with DNA Center at its core creates a holistic end-to-end platform for your enterprise so you can better manage your business. Not merely a graphical interface, DNA Center builds on 30 years of Cisco networking know-how made simple and intuitive. All of your essential workflows are built in, creating a single point of management with endless reach. You can add devices, assign roles, and then analyze the impact across desks or continents. You'll define a change once and watch it provision end to end, and effortlessly set policies to manage entire workgroups distributed far and wide. And while you're managing today's challenge, Cisco DNA Center is proactively assessing and analyzing tomorrow's for you. You get the assurance to address challenges before they become problems. So instead of outdated processes burning up budgets and time, Cisco DNA Center drives both down, freeing you to drive your business's digital transformation. Imagine a network that lowers costs, reduces complexity, eliminates threats, and liberates you. That's a network built on Cisco DNA, just part of the new era in networking. The network. Intuitive. Start architecting the control you need.
I think what makes us human is a kind of innate cosmic ambition, this desire to go beyond. We're creating multiple exabytes of data every day. It is the ability to make decisions and contextualize our world based on this data that propels our species forward.
Technology is fundamental in today's world. Sometimes we take it for granted, but it's what empowers us to make better, faster, smarter decisions. And all of this is only made possible by the network. How do we know this? It's because we built the internet, and now we're building it for the next 10, 20, 30 years. By creating a network that better eliminates the complexities and brings us greater opportunities. This is the new network we are building. It's a network that is built on a set of powerful human ideas. Everything should start with the right intention. What is it that you want to achieve? Intent allows us to translate business goals into action at scale by automating how we do things in minutes rather than weeks. This new network requires more context than ever before, more analytics and intelligence to turn raw data into insights. Knowledge about the world around us is extremely important. By identifying threats and opportunities and learning from each one, we can adapt quickly to achieve what we want. We can become intuitive.
We assess situations and make decisions based on context. We are distributed intelligence. That is what makes us human, and that is what makes technology fundamentally a part of our humanity.
We are defining an entirely new era of networking, making the impossible possible and the unsolvable solvable. A new network that will take your business to places you haven't even imagined yet.
We are the captains of Spaceship Earth. And where we go from here is up to us.
Human beings have something remarkable that no one else in the universe has. We know instinctively when something is right and when it's wrong. We understand the world around us. We understand where we're going and how to get there. Can the network do the same thing we do? The answer is yes, but only if it's built on a very powerful and very human idea. Only if it's designed to be intuitive, constantly learning, constantly adapting, constantly protecting. This is an entirely new era of networking. An entirely new vision of what the network is. And only one company on Earth can deliver it. Cisco, the network. Intuitive. We live in a world defined by less. Less time. Less budget. Less of everything. And yet more of everything. More data. More threats. More on the line. We live in a very different world. And in this world, you can't use yesterday's technology to solve tomorrow's problems. For that, you will need a very different kind of network. One that uses context to turn the data generated by the entire planet into intelligence. Solves issues before they become issues and learns from each one. Sees billions of threats a day and stops them in seconds, even when they're hidden in encrypted traffic. Configures millions of devices and connected things, not in months, but in minutes. A network that turns business intent into business results. A network that can take us from where we are now to places we haven't dreamed of yet. This is an entirely new era of networking, and only one company on Earth can deliver it. Cisco, the network. Intuitive.
What makes us human? Collaboration. It's in our DNA. When we work together and build on each other's ideas, we can create amazing things. When given the right tools, it's our creative, intuitive minds that will move us forward. Because the more we work together, the more human we'll be. This is Cisco.
Human beings have something remarkable that no one else in the universe has. We know instinctively when something is right and when it's wrong. We understand the world around us. We understand where we're going and how to get there. Can the network do the same thing we do? The answer is yes, but only if it's built on a very powerful and very human idea. Only if it's designed to be intuitive, constantly learning, constantly adapting, constantly protecting. This is an entirely new era of networking. An entirely new vision of what the network is. And only one company on Earth can deliver it. Cisco, the network. Intuitive. We live in a world defined by less. Less time. less budget, less of everything, and yet more of everything. More data, more threats, more on the line. We live in a very different world. And in this world, you can't use yesterday's technology to solve tomorrow's problems. For that, you will need a very different kind of network. One that uses context to turn the data generated by the entire planet into intelligence. Solves issues before they become issues and learns from each one. Sees billions of threats a day and stops them in seconds, even when they're hidden in encrypted traffic. Configures millions of devices and connected things, not in months, but in minutes. A network that turns business intent into business results. A network that can take us from where we are now to places we haven't dreamed of yet. This is an entirely new era of networking, and only one company on Earth can deliver it. Cisco, the network. Intuitive.
What makes us human? Collaboration. It's in our DNA. When we work together and build on each other's ideas, we can create amazing things. When given the right tools, it's our creative, intuitive minds that will move us forward. Because the more we work together, the more human we'll be. This is Cisco.
Welcome to the kickoff of the live broadcast here from Cisco Live 2019 Barcelona. We're so glad to have you with us.
Pay attention to these faces. We are your Cisco Live hosts. And all this week, we are bringing the information to you on a great many different platforms.
And the best way to get that experience is to go to ciscolive.com.
Learning is what the focus is when I come to Cisco Live. 5 days of sessions, personal and professional goals. You will not run out of material here. And if that's not enough for you, one-on-one sessions, make it up as you go along. I love this place for learning.
We've got the world of solutions and the hub to be explored, and they are the energetic core of Cisco Live 2019 Barcelona. And there are also partner villages and Cisco Showcase to be explored for all of our attendants.
I do love meeting new people and connecting, and Cisco Live Barcelona is definitely the place to do that. We've got tech engineers, CCIE, and all the like-minded attendees to meet with as well.
This event is so much fun, and you've got to get to Cisco Live to be a part of the fun yourselves, but we're going to bring it to you all week long, person to person.
Welcome to Cisco Live TV. My name is Aigirima Sabaiva, and today I'm the host for the Cisco TV here with you. Well, we are here, to run up to the opening keynote of David Goeckeler. And I've got Steve Mutler with me here. Hi, Steve.
How are you,
my
friend? Good. You know what? This is my favorite moment here in the show. I love when the doors first open. Everybody starts to flood in. We had a full day yesterday. We were here. We weren't on camera, but everybody was walking the show floor. They were enjoying the dynamic of the show, and now is when that energy really starts to come alive. Like you just said, on that run up to the keynote, Dave is going to kick things off with his team, and I think we've got an amazing day ahead of us.
I think so too. I'm extremely excited about David Goeckeler's keynote and really looking forward to that. But before we get into that, why should our viewers stay with us at Cisco TV?
You know what, that's really a great thing to do, because a lot of people, they will tune into the broadcast and they'll think, all right, what is this going to be about? What am I actually going to see? The reason that you want to be here, and by the way, thank you for being here and be with us throughout the course of the week. Everything that you will hear from this set and from all around the show floor is what brings this show live into your space, whether you happen to be watching in your office or in your car, I hope not while you're driving, or in your living room, or wherever you tune in from. Keep coming back to us, because again, what we do is we run between the different key elements, whether it's the keynotes, the innovation showcases, 11 innovation showcases for you to tune in on throughout the week. You can find out a lot more about those by going online, either to the event app, or you can do it by watching live here on a few different areas. You want to let them know about the different websites and the different places they can get this live stream?
Definitely. So you can get the stream on YouTube, and you can also get it at Cisco TV website, right? So we've got our own streaming, and we are going to give you a lot more if you watch it at cisco.com, because you actually get to see all the relevant content to you, right? So tailor-made content, so you actually can see the links, the white papers, and other interesting stuff just tailor-made for you.
So that's a good thing to remember, is if you want to watch on YouTube or on Facebook, that's just fine. But we really want you to go to ciscolive.com or ciscolive.com/EMEA. These are going to be your direct links into this live stream, which will run 24/7, starting right now here with our keynote open, and then going all the way through to the final keynote by Mr. Larry Brilliant. That will be on Thursday afternoon, and we want to make sure that you're with us all the way. Even if you step away for a bit, no worries. Just come on back so you can hear all of the inside details. For example, an innovation showcase comes to an end. You get that great content. Immediately we come back here to the studio, or we stay in that showcase, and now we have got a one-on-one conversation with that person who just gave that innovation showcase talk. We get kind of the background, a little bit of that more in-depth.
So there's more backstage, right? So there's a lot of stuff that our online viewers would actually get, and those attending here might not.
That's exactly right. Now, it's great to be able to do this. We're glad to have you with us, but you want to get down here to the show so you can see it all live and in person.
Yes, thank you, Steve. Well, now we've got Nish Parker, who is actually at the keynote space right now, and she's going to interview some people, because we want to hear what our attendees are looking forward to. Nish, over to you.
Thanks, Agrim, and welcome to the keynote of Cisco Live 2019 Barcelona. I'm another one of your hosts. My name is Nish Parker, and I work at Cisco as an account manager. I'm very thrilled to be joined by my co-host, Rob Boyd. Hello, Rob.
I'm having so much fun. Did we already get started already? This place is moving fast.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Well, what I thought I'd do is, one of the things about this conference is about having multiple skills. That's really about what job security, or really employment security, is all about. So I've been meeting with the crowd gatherers, trying to gather up some skills that I thought might be useful.
Yeah.
These guys are so nice here. Everybody's coming in. It's one thing about this conference, everybody is so polite. Everybody knows how to queue up and line up. Is that a country level skill?
It might be.
Love it. So this is your first Cisco Live.
It's my first ever Cisco Live in my 3 years at Cisco, and I have to say, as cheesy as it sounds, I feel alive. The energy, the buzz in here, everyone coming in. The keynote is a massive part of the event. It's where people come to hear about what is happening in technology and what is Cisco doing, and helping our customers and our partners to really learn from Cisco and what other people are up to.
Well, one thing we sometimes forget is, of course, we're just now starting the broadcast, and the remote audience is starting to get a lot more of the flavor hopefully we're able to bring to you. But don't forget, this is a learning event, and so there are a lot of people here, some brainiacs, that have been here taking tests and getting to know other engineers, and first and foremost is learning how to interact with each other so that they can take that knowledge back to our mutual customers, through our partners, through our ecosystem, through our various investments. It's a huge world of opportunity, and I love the fact that these people, I feel like, are kindred spirits, because you work in the field, you know exactly what this is all about. It's about saying, how can I be that much better, faster, smarter about what we do so that we can take on the world?
Exactly, and Rob, you're a bit of a Cisco Live veteran. You've been a few times, haven't you?
Yeah.
So what is it that you're excited about this year for Cisco Live?
Well, so what I like is, obviously the keynote sets the tone.
Yeah.
So the keynote is that one event where everybody kind of comes in, and it's certainly not going to be the most in-depth technologically, but what it's going to do is set a high-level pattern for how does all this play together. Because sometimes we get hyper-focused on individual technologies and how they work and whether or not we have this feature and different things like this, but this enables us to see, oh, that's the big picture, and that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Hey, I tell you what, it sounds like we need to go back to the studio. Do you mind if I do the throw?
Oh, go for it.
Oh, no, do it. All right, guys, we're going to go back to you in the studio, and then you come back and check with us a little bit. We'll try and get some interviews, all right?
You're fabulous, Mr. Rob Boyd and Nish Parker, our other two fantastic hosts, and we're so glad to have them with us walking around and connecting one-on-one with what's going on out on the show floor. You'll see us a lot behind the desk here in the studio, so Rob and Nish become our eyes and ears out there, and you're going to do quite a bit of that as well. What is this event all about? Rob just hit on such a big part of it. Learning, growing, certifications, connecting with people. It's that combination of education and connection and technology and interaction. You get that by being here with us live at Cisco Live. In this case, coming to you from Barcelona, but if you didn't make it down here, great. We are so glad to have you in on the streaming broadcast, but we want to see you in San Diego, all right? Get to the next event wherever it happens to be near you. Imagine the future. We see this so often. What is Imagine Intuitive all about? This idea that IT informs people and it connects us, it predicts, it enables, and you've seen the new branding out there, I think, in both broadcasts, certainly live here in print as well, where we talk about between hope and possible, there is this bridge. Cisco is creating the bridge, not just from technology to technology, but from everything that happens within this expansive company, all of our great partners that are out here in the world of solutions. How do we bring it all to you, into your world, into your workplace, your organization, and make it all fit and work seamlessly? You're going to hear it throughout the event today. Cisco has the depth, the breadth to bring it all to you. We are the partner that you want to work with, and we want to bring you every bit of the technology that runs throughout the course of the week. There is so much here to see and do and to learn. Cisco really is creating this world of potential, and we want you to take advantage of it. So once again, we're going to try to bring it to you throughout the course of the week. We'll explain, as Igarim, you were saying just a moment ago, about that background information, what is happening behind the scenes that people may not hear about in the presentations. That is what we're here for, right?
Exactly. And I think it's just so exciting to be here. Like, you can really feel the vibe as people go into the keynote space, right? And they're so extremely excited about all the content that they're going to hear about. Yeah, so I hear that Nish Parker has now someone to interview, and Nish, tell us more about who you found.
Thanks, Agrim. So hi, I'm back in the keynote space, and I'm here with one of the Cisco Live 2019 attendees. Hi, do you want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Jerome Sanders, a Global Communications Manager here at Cisco, responsible for communicating innovation all across Cisco. So I'm very, very excited to be here.
And is this your first Cisco Live, Jerome?
Actually, no. I'm a Cisco Live veteran, so this is probably my 4th or 5th Cisco Live. But every year they get better and better and better, so shout outs to the Cisco Live team.
So this year, what are you most excited about?
This year, I'm very excited to hear about all of the cool innovations that are coming out of Cisco. Since I've been here, I've had the opportunity to check out the DevNet booth, which was super cool, so shout out to Susie Wee and her team. I've also seen the IoT smart cities. And just being here at Cisco Live, you feel like you're in the space of the future. You're seeing what's coming 5, 10, 15 years from now.
I love that, and there's so much fun things happening around as well. I think I see some smoothie bikes and the health and wellbeing zone. We've got our own DJ, hashtag DJCLEUR. If you want to request a song, you can do that. So Jerome, in your role, obviously you work in innovation. What's been happening this week? Tell us a little bit more around the Innovation Center and what's been happening.
Oh my God, so there's so much happening. And in fact, yesterday we had the grand opening of the Barcelona Innovation Center. And it's a huge, huge partnership that we're having with Spain. And it's going to be that space where we can educate the future of Spain, and they'll have the opportunity to partner and to educate and to really stimulate a lot of growth here in Catalonia. And so we're excited to be a part of that narrative here in Barcelona.
And yesterday, of course, at Cisco Live, we were setting up and lots of things going on. But at the event launch event, which was yesterday, you were telling me a little bit earlier about some of the the things that are going on as part of the event, and obviously it's the grand opening and how the culture of Spain is really built into the Innovation Center.
Yes, absolutely. So if you go to the Innovation Center, that's not too far from here, you'll get a really 19th century feel of Catalan. And when you walk in, you're welcomed by this huge human tower mural, but then you'll also see these massive screens that just display beautifully. And so you really get that Catalan feel of openness and warmth, and you really get a feel for what people are like here.
And of course, you know, the Barcelona Innovation Center is one of many that we have around the world. But it's great timing with Cisco Live because a lot of attendees get to go along as well, so, and also enjoy the event as well. So back to you, Steve and Agrim in the studio.
Thank you, Nish. Sounds great. I totally agree. Barcelona's just fabulous. You know, the spirit, the food, everything is so great here, and I feel like the people are so welcoming. So it's really a pleasure to be here. So Steve,
yes.
Tell us more about the vibe here.
About the vibe going on. Well, you can see all the people who are streaming in behind us. So the cameras that are picking it up, we've got this flow of humanity back into the keynote. We're expecting about 12,000 people to rotate into the keynote space, which is very, very cool and very exciting. The dynamic on the show floor, it's very hard to explain to people. You start to get this many minds in the room. Rob was talking about it just a few minutes ago. We have so many different skill sets and technology capabilities.
Definitely.
The certifications, the number, I mean, you get somebody's business card, you talk to them, and all it is letters, it's acronyms after their name. There's so much expertise here at the show, and that's what I love, is you get that power in the space. Right
Definitely.
now, we're in the hub, so our studio, you can sort of see it a little bit in the cameras, but we've got the social media area directly back behind us. We've got the DevNet zone
and
across.
I see a lot of guys there on the computers,
This
like
is the
every
WISP,
day.
the walk-in self-paced labs back over here, which is very cool.
Nice.
Directly next to us, we've got the Taberna, which is sponsored by Cisco Umbrella on the security side. There's so much great stuff to do, even around us here in the studio. We're not even in the main area on the World of Solutions show floor, which is 120 great partners, customers walking around doing business, and then the Cisco Showcase. And we're going to dive into some detail on the showcase later. It's amazing.
So about the innovation showcases,
Yes.
you know, I'm really excited to hear more about collaboration, IoT, cybersecurity, right? Because I think these are really the top of minds of our customers. Which one are you looking forward to the most?
Well, these deep dives, and again, there are 11 of them throughout the week. We want to make sure you do not miss any of the innovation showcases. You can get to them on the event app or again on the CiscoLive.com website. The one that I always deep dive on is security. We're going to be hearing from Susie Wee throughout the week and what she's doing on the DevNet side, but the way it all connects back into the security arena, to me right now, security touches everything, and I know you've got a huge expertise on your own, but no matter what it is that we develop, the security has to be there.
I have to agree with you so
That's
much.
the innovation
As a cybersecurity sales specialist, security is top of mind. And now we've got Rob ready at the keynote space.
Cool.
And Rob, tell us more of what's going on there.
I'm supposed to be finding someone to interview because I think that's what I promised you, but they gave me a glow stick because it's helping with traffic management. Turns out these things do not burn my hands like I was kind of afraid they might. They're completely innocent, apparently not supposed to drink the liquid, but nonetheless, so we got that here. So I thought we'd just go down the aisle here. Now we're gonna have to be careful because we're gonna block a little bit of traffic. Let's see if we can find a space. I think we got a space after this gentleman here. All right, we'll tag along behind him. All right, hey Liz, how are you doing? Good to see you. She'll be up speaking next in one of the, whatever we call the big area. All right, we'll see if we can find a willing victim here. Notice how nobody is waving their hands to see. Oh, look here, here's my friend, hey, right over here, there's my friend Stu. Stu, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, how about yourself?
Very, very good. You know, I was just thinking, how many Cisco Lives have you been to, sir?
Oh boy, it's really only my fourth one. Last year I came to both the Barcelona and the Orlando one, but it had actually been like 8 or 9 years since I'd been before that.
Now, I feel like you're a kindred spirit because you're a technologist first and foremost, but you have become a TV personality yourself. Can you tell me a little bit about what you do?
I'm an analyst with Wikibon and a host of theCUBE. So we go out to all the shows, help extract the signal from the noise. We're going to be doing 3 days of live broadcasts here from the DevNet zone. Super excited to be able to talk to customers, partners, and of course the Cisco executives. Love the show, great energy.
Well, one thing I always like is I met you first when you were at EMC, I believe, and I was at Cisco, but you've always been a source of information. I used to rob from you much more vociferously? I don't know if that's the right word or not. A lot. And but as you progress, I still follow you because you're easy to follow on Wikibon and the shows that you guys are doing. but you get to talk to so many leaders, both in and out of Cisco. Cisco? I'm getting my puberty here at age 50. What would you say is this kind of what we should be looking for to expect? We're speaking to an outside audience. A lot of people here in our audience are really looking at their careers and whether they're well placed. What would you be saying to them about this conference and their careers?
Yeah, so I really liked some of the messaging I was seeing here. What is Cisco? Cisco is that bridge to help me get from where I am today to where I need to get going. Rob, you might have heard of this thing called cloud. We're about 10 years in, and it's real and it's here to stay. But cloud is not a monolithic thing. There are lots of environments, and just as we've known for our entire career, networking is really important for this kind of environment. So, you know, how does networking fit into the multi-cloud environment? How am I going to do things like automation? And how am I going to help transform my company and move forward? That's something we're looking to dig in here, whether you're talking about modernization of the data center or, you know, application management. There's something for everybody here and lots of cool activities going on throughout the show.
Really, really cool. I want to thank you so much for your time. I saw your studio set up over there in the DevNet zone, so I'll probably be back in the background trying to photobomb you or something later in the week, but thank you so much for everything you do for us. Appreciate your time. Guys, we're going to go back to the studio right now. Check back with us if you need. We'll be here.
Thank you very much, Rob, Boyd, and Stu. And by the way, there was so much that came across in that segment. First of all, I think we just watched Rob go through puberty there during that segment, which was pretty delightful. He finally arrived. Stu mentioned some amazing things. DevNet Zone, right directly across from us. If you are here in Barcelona with us, head to the DevNet Zone. So much going on there. The other great thing that Stu talked about that really gets me excited, this is this idea of career advancement and development. What do you want to do with your career? Where do you want to go? What are those next steps? That is so much a part of what Cisco is all about, is helping you get to that point. There's so many opportunities to learn here at the event. One of the areas, again, Stu just hit on it right there, multi-cloud. Boy, we are talking so much cloud here throughout the course of the week, and you're going to see it not only throughout the entire event and hear about it in every showcase, you're going to hear a ton about it when you go over to the Cisco showcase. Cloud is being featured in a number of the different pillars, and we should do a little deep dive on that. In terms of these sort of 5 key elements that Chuck Robbins came up with, this really came to light in 2017. Chuck introduced this whole idea at Cisco Partners Summit in 2017 of what are the things that we do to connect with the customer? How do we really support them? These 5 key areas. We rolled it out when we were in Orlando back in June at Cisco Live US, and right now we've got it here, and again, it's across at the World of Solutions. Have you had a chance to walk through the Cisco showcase yet and kind of check that out for yourself?
I have, yeah. So I actually did a World of Solutions tour yesterday.
Ah, great.
Looked at it, it's amazing. I really loved it. I love the fact that there were so many partners of Cisco, right? So we have such a massive ecosystem of partners, and this time we could really, really give them that, you know, prime time in a way. So as you enter, you see all those partners straight away. And now back to Nish at the keynote space. Nish, how are you doing there?
Thanks, Agrim. Yeah, we're back here in the keynote space, and I'm joined by 2 of the most amazing people that I know that work at Cisco. So I'm here with Emma Roffey, who is the VP of Marketing for EMEA, and Karen Walker, who's our Chief Marketing Officer. So hi, Emma. Hi, Karen. Thank you for joining me. So how are you finding the event so far?
Yeah, fantastic. I arrived yesterday afternoon, walked straight in to meet loads of our customers, loads of our advocates, and now we're here at the stage, so very excited to hear the opening keynote.
And the atmosphere around here is incredible. So the room is filling up, the energy is really high.
It is. I actually got in yesterday too, and I actually went straight into our Women of Impact session. And it was so cool. And actually, it was even better. There was like 50% of the people there were guys, were men. And so it was just an amazing, energizing experience and just so supportive. So that was really fun.
I heard a lot of good things about
It was really great. But look at this today. It's just wild. And I like you, I can't wait to hear David's keynote and the amazing Liz and Tony, who's going to talk about IoT. And of course, our very own Jeremy is going to do a great job of kicking us off, right?
And we have, this year, for the best ever, we have 30 customers speaking, customer-on-customer stories. So if you want to hear, from your peers in the industry, then come along to the Gateway. There's full sessions for 3 days.
And that's another reason for people to join us here in person, is the ability to connect and to meet lots of different people who are going through some of the same challenges. They're moving to the same kind of new next stage of building their new businesses. So Karen, it's not your first Cisco Live, I'm sure. You've been to many all around the world. What's new this year?
Actually, I like what Emma's just said about having customers come in and talk about their stories and engage with each other. I'm really thrilled to see how we've expanded the DevNet zone. That is just so cool. And I tell you, when you go there, the energy and all the hackathon stuff that Susie Wee does is just amazing. I think the world of solutions just is getting better and better. So please spend time there. Make sure that you really camp out and just look at all the technology and get your hands on it. I want to see more people hugging our technology.
And I think the Innovation Showcase, there's multiple sessions there. And we've got WebEx team rooms set up for each Innovation Showcase, so you can have ongoing conversations with the Cisco execs and your peers and ask those difficult questions. Go for it.
I love that. So just to finish, one word on how you're feeling right now.
Amazing.
Buzzed.
I love it. Thank you so much, and back to the studio.
Thank you so much, Nish. I appreciate it. Amazing and fun. Boys, two great words for it. You got Karen Walker right out of the gate. Come on, Nish Parker, way to go. Guys, a couple of things I want to remind you of. We want you to reach out to us throughout the week, and there are a number of ways that we want to hear from you, that you can get involved here with the event. Again, I mentioned we're right across from the social media hub here in Barcelona. You can hit us using hashtag CLEUR, C-L-E-U-R. We're going to mention that hashtag again and again, but hashtag CLEUR, and that way we'll be able to hear from you. Another great way to get to us is by using the Cisco online portal. If you want to get to that portal, again, go to ciscolive.com. You will find that portal, reach out to us. We will mention the portal throughout the day, but using that online portal gives you a chance to dive in and actually be a part of the show. You can get involved with polling. Again, you can hit with social media. You can connect and send messages back and forth, and you really become a part of the event with us here in Spain, and we want to do that. I want to come back over to you, Egerim. We were talking a moment ago, all the different areas. What we do is we hear from customers. Customers drive this conversation. That's what we're going to hear from Dave Goeckeler and company in just about, 11 minutes or so from now, about 9:05. We're going to kick off with that keynote. One of the things we hear from customers all the time is this technology, fantastic. How do I protect it? How do I stay safe as I roll out new applications? As I continue to expand the development of my new digital network and onboard all these capabilities, how do we help keep them safe?
Well, I think, in my view, the way Cisco can help is really providing this security across the full infrastructure, right? Security end to end, from the endpoint to the network and then to the cloud, right? So it's really this full security architecture, and that's really the differentiator of Cisco. And I think we will see throughout the event how security is really kind of a part of every single thing we are talking about.
What do you hear? So you go out, you meet with customers every single week. You're on the road a ton. And as you're face-to-face with them, when they say security, what does that mean to you? Is it specialized BU to BU across these different corporate divisions and corporate infrastructures? Or do we have a really solid security story that we can tell that it really affects the entire marketplace?
It's really one story, right? So it's really integrating all the pieces. So in the past, right, it was all kind of, okay, we've got some endpoint security, we've got network security, we've got cloud security or data center and so on. But now it's really that one integrated technology, and the way we achieve it, and I think we're going to hear more about that, is Cisco Threat Response, right? So we really bring everything together, and I think this is really going to mean like a new game for Cisco, and I'm extremely excited about it, and so are my customers and partners. And now I hear that in the keynote space, we've got Rob, and Rob's gonna interview another attendant. So Rob, over to you.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I really like meeting new people, and there's a lot of cool juggling going on. I hope you guys are getting some of that going on here. But I've made a new friend, a fan of TechWise TV, no less. It's Tarek. How are you doing?
Oh, that's fine. Thank you.
Absolutely. So you've been to Cisco Live before.
Sure.
You run you oversee a Cisco partner, so you're one of the guys that go out and make our stuff real for customers. Can you tell me a little bit about what you guys do, the name of the company and such?
Yes, we're CNS. We are in Lebanon. We're Cisco Gold Partner, and we cover the full portfolio of Cisco. And we have our best SE, Mohammed Kabbara, and our preferred client, Central Bank of Lebanon. So one of the top partner clients in the region, not only Lebanon.
So this is the whole ecosystem, if you will, your partnership with Cisco, your customer that's paying the bills that allow you to show up. You got more people behind you because they thought I was coming for you. I thought they were bodyguards, but no, they were very nice.
We are all friends here.
It's all friends. So tell me a little bit about when you come to Cisco Live, what is it as a partner that you look for out of an event like this?
Yes, mainly we look for two things. First, the enablement for the latest technologies. And second, we are really interested in doing the one-on-one meetings, the meet the engineer. So that's why we do a lot of one-to-one meetings with our SE and our client, central bank. So that's the main focus of coming here.
Yeah, so we really want to put things together. Do you ever come with specific technological issues you'd like to overcome, or maybe get advice where you're kind of brokering the conversation directly between your customer and the Cisco engineers?
Yes, mainly we're looking and checking the software-driven hype from Cisco, SDN, ACI, software-defined campus, software-defined security, the latest. So mainly the software-defined part, the software-defined updates.
How do you feel about how things, you've obviously seen this industry and Cisco kind of ebb and flow through different, say, marketing messages and technology focus areas. I don't want to put words in your mouth, so I'll just ask you openly, how do you feel about our direction? Is there any one thing you would call out and say, yeah, Cisco's on the right track, we're in with you on this?
Yes, surely Cisco is on the right track, and I think that's why Cisco is continuing to lead this business since many years, and hopefully for the coming years. So yes, we are very confident that Cisco is on the right track.
So I think if I were to translate that into specifics, I think you said that we are really on top of it with intent-based networking. Our multi-cloud messaging is crystal clear. We know exactly what we're doing. There's no question about how we work with partners, and there's no one else you'd rather be working with.
100%.
Excellent. Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Thank you guys for coming, taking the time. Guys, I'm going to throw it back over to you in the studio.
Thanks so much, Rob. Appreciate it. The jugglers have just wrapped up doing their thing. You saw just a little bit of the last moment of those there in the broadcast. Again, special things going on within the keynote space to keep the audience excited and engaged. We've still got loads of people walking in behind us. I think you can see that behind our shot here in the TV studio, which is set up right in the middle of the hub here at the show. So, talk a little bit about what's going on with data center. We were talking about it a moment ago while this was going on. What did you see yesterday?
I saw yesterday at the Cisco showcase, I saw the escape room, and I found it extremely cool. And we're going to tell you more about it as we go on.
Did you do
today.
it? Did you go in and actually do the escape room?
No, I couldn't, but it's just a fun game, right? So the idea is that you need to figure out, you know, what was the threat, and the data center was attacked, and then you have to figure that out, and unless you figure it out, you can't get out.
Should you and I go in to do this later?
Yes, I think we're going to do that.
We're going to team of the four hosts. We're going to go into the escape room.
I know why you want to
team
team with me, because I'm a security specialist, right?
That's exactly right. You know what, I want to talk a little bit more about the Cisco showcase. There is so much going on in there, and I want to share it with our audience here. But right now, I am looking out at our monitor, and we've got the fabulous Nish Parker. Oh, I'm back over here in center camera. All right, Nish, who do you have to talk with us now?
Hey Steve, hi, I'm back here in the keynote. As you can see, when you look around the room, it's completely filling up now. And we've got time, I think, for one more interview. So hello, do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Marcella. I'm the digital marketing for Cisco Portugal, and this is my first Cisco Live.
That's cool, and why are you here at Cisco Live?
Well, I'm here to inspire myself, pretty much that's my main goal. I mean, Cisco, it's so big, there's so many possibilities. So my main reason to be here is to inspire myself and to boost our social media for sure with the event, so I'm really excited.
And you were saying yesterday that you attended some extra events that are before this keynote, obviously. So tell us a bit more about what you've done so far.
Well, yesterday I went to the Women's Impact event. It was truly inspirational to get to know this amazing woman and what they're doing, and also amazing project around the world that Cisco is supporting. So, well, now the keynote section, and I'm looking forward to actually meet a lot of the people that I talk to on a daily basis from all over the world, and see them live is going to be amazing too.
And what have you seen so far that's really excited you?
Pretty much, well, everything. It's overwhelming and amazing. I'm really excited about the world of solutions and to get to know what we are doing. Because I'm new at Cisco, I'm here for a couple of months. So there's so many things to understand and so many solutions and projects to get to know. So I'm excited to absorb all the knowledge and really inspire myself to keep doing my work.
I love that, and there's so much here to learn, so many people to meet, and so many sessions. And at Cisco Live, you can really attend, what you find is relevant. So you can go to some sessions, you can wander around. But we have some fun things around as well. We have a DJ, we have lots of exciting stuff. So yeah, definitely. So any final words or comments?
I'm really grateful to be here, and I hope you can all enjoy Cisco Live, either being here or on social media, on the live streaming. So I'm grateful, and I hope you guys are too, to be a part of this.
Thanks, Marcella. And as Marcella said, you can use the hashtag CLEUR and engage with us and talk to us on social media as well. So back to you in the studio, Steve and Igrim.
Thank you, Nish. I really loved what Marcella said when you asked her what are you excited about. She said, well, pretty much everything, right? Because that's how I feel, right? I'm just excited about all the technology that's going on here. And Steve, how do you feel?
Again, same thing. This is the sort of opening jitters of the show, and it's jitters in the best possible way. The dynamic, the excitement, the energy that comes across to us here when we're at the event, and our ability to get together and to bring it to all of you. We then get to leave and talk to all the people who are out here at the show, making it all hum, making the excitement feel real and alive and future vision. This is what we're going to hear from Dave Goeckeler, and right now, if my clock is right, we're about 5 minutes away from the start of that keynote. We're going to be with you all the way up until we launch that keynote, and then following the keynote at about 10:30, local time here in Barcelona, we're going to be right back live here at the studio. Again, Cisco Live 2019 Barcelona, to be able to bring you all the background, the information. We will go over what we heard from Dave and company. But as you've been getting those shots of what's going on inside the keynote space, man, great dynamic, 12,000 people packing in. It's just fantastic. So, hey, look at this. See, we've got our cello player back up here. We've got musicians going on. It's beautiful. It's dynamic.
Oh, that's
it just
beautiful
looks,
indeed.
Yeah, really, really nice. So as we're waiting to go back into the keynote space, I want to take a quick moment to go back to what we were talking about before we went to the break and before we went out to Nish, and we were discussing the Cisco Showcase. We've been calling it the Cisco Campus for years. It really is the showcase now, and again, it focuses on those 5 key elements of Cisco's digital and channel strategy that Chuck really envisioned starting a little over a year ago, and it's in such full force now. And when people are here at the show, you come down and you walk into the Cisco Showcase and you go through the banner, and it's there. It's in a circle. You look up and you've got the cubes that are the different colors that guide you in on where you're going. And as I was walking yesterday, what I thought is, this is the first time that I see that full picture of all 5 stages right in there. Starting security is foundational. You go into the red area, right? And right away you're diving in on Talos threat protection, and you've got your web and email security taking place, and you've got advanced malware protection. Then the green area right next door, power a multi-cloud world, right? Hybrid cloud, Kubernetes, SD-WAN, Cloud Center Suite, Business Critical Insights, and you keep going all around the room and you see again and again the different capabilities. We have special case studies, including the one that Cisco has been doing with BBVA. If you go into the gray area, standardizing IT infrastructure for global efficiency, we're utilizing Cisco ACI. Then the IoT zone. Everything IoT. What have we got? Connected life, connected communities, oil and gas, the connected classroom.
And I think that's a real hot topic, right? The IoT is just a massive topic for us right now.
It ties in everything, and what's so great about Richard Mullen and his team have set it up back over there. Scott Newman has been working with him, and they have developed this great storytelling methodology that brings it to life. You walk up and you see storyboards. So instead of just showing a technology, they show it in action so you can see it in real application.
Because people want to hear stories, right? They don't want to just hear, okay, about some code or like, okay, this is the tech, right? They want to hear a real story of how can we use this.
Exactly.
Right? The use cases. And I think Cisco Live is this great place where you can also hear the customer success stories, right? So you can really hear from our customers on their journey and the journey they have taken to transform their business.
You bet. And you were mentioning the escape rooms before. That's over in the Reinvent the Network area, in the orange space. So if you find the orange, you just look up, there are the orange cubes. All of a sudden you're in Reinvent the Network. Now, you can sign up to go into these escape rooms, either by yourself or with a team, and again, you can problem solve. So instead of going deep dive on the technology, that is about storytelling as well. You get into that space, you've got a certain limited amount of time to get out of that space, you do it by telling stories and solving problems. It's practical, it's real, and it connects all of our guests here at Cisco Live 2019 Barcelona to the show. It makes them feel like they are a part of it, because you are the people who make all of this possible. You're the ones who tell us your own stories stories, and based on that, we react, we respond. We work with the best partners in the world to help create the solutions that get you and your organization exactly where you need to go, and I think that is so exciting. So, let's talk about what's going to happen in about 1 minute. We still have people streaming in. What's happening a minute from now?
In a minute from now, we're going to have a keynote of David Goeckeler, and David Goeckeler is our Executive Vice President for Network and Security. And the reason I'm so excited to hear from him is that I think his speech is really going to be so relevant to all of my customers because it's really transforming their business. And at this point, right, when I speak to my customers, they don't really want to hear all these acronyms and all these fancy names for all the different technologies we've got. All they want is, okay, I've got the right users and I want the users to access the right apps and everything in between. Just please take this from me and take care of it, right? And I think David Goeckeler is really going to cover that on how Cisco can help our customers to transform their business with this, full platform.
Make it easy. Simplify, yes. Simplify, simplify.
Exactly.
I'm looking out at the monitor. We've got our buds, Rob and Nish, back there out on the show floor. We're going to go to the keynote at least this one more time. Guys, what are you seeing? Share it with us, please.
So we've had so many different conversations with different attendees here, such a diverse background of people, but some of the things that are coming up is the Women of Impact event that was yesterday, that seemed to be a huge hit. And what I learned so far is about DevNet and how it's for everyone. So you don't have to be overly technical, you can go over to the DevNet zone and you can get one-to-one mentoring and get someone to get you started.
Yeah, one of the reasons, and I'm going to just talk about the music for a second, because obviously you can hear it in the background, but we can't play the music unfiltered. But basically, have you ever seen that looping technology where they play something over and over again? But I don't want to miss anything. So Steve, I want to throw it back over to you in the studio because I think we're about to go to the keynote.
Woo!
Go to keynote, Rob. This is so exciting, this run-up. Dave Goeckeler and his team, boy, they have such a difficult job ahead of them. Within a tight frame of mind, they've got to fill out the entire story for the week, get everyone on board, excited, and feeling comfortable with the new technology from Cisco. But boy, they've been working on this for weeks and weeks. We heard some of the rehearsals and the messaging yesterday, so incredibly powerful, and it also goes to what you were just saying. Simplify the message.
Exactly.
Get people engaged, involved, make them a part of the process because nothing happens in a vacuum. Cisco is not an island. We count on all of you to participate in the Cisco process to help make this organization what it is. 120 of the greatest partners in the world are right across from us in the world of solutions helping us do it. And these people who are still walking by us, huge, huge piece of the puzzle. Dave is going to talk directly to them, right?
Definitely, yeah. And I really want to remind our viewers to follow us on social media. I think you would agree with me, Steve, on that. Yeah. So if you want to get involved, just please use the hashtag CLEUR. So you can post your questions and our team will see that, and you can really get involved and share things, follow the pictures of other different attendants as they post it. I think it's a really great way to get a feel of it, right?
Absolutely. And again, remember that Cisco Online Portal too. We want people to utilize that online portal. We will continue to bring you the Cisco Online Portal throughout the day, but you can right now kind of get an advanced view of that. If you go online to CiscoLive.com or CiscoLive.com/EMEA, you can connect in with that portal. We'll keep bringing it to you throughout the day. Keep coming back and tuning in with us. You can see the dynamic. Look at the people still flooding in through the door. This is what we can't really explain to people who are not here at the event, is what it feels like to be a part of this crush of humanity. We are
look
here
at the
to
hall,
learn.
it's just massive,
It's
right?
beautiful.
Like, how many people are there? It's insane.
We're here to learn, we're here to celebrate, to connect, to explore, to get certified, to meet with colleagues, associates, to help to drive those new ideas. And the unique perspectives that we're going to hear not only from Dave and his team here in the keynote, but that we're going to hear from all of the people that we get a chance to talk to throughout the week. That's what we're going to be discussing by the time we get to San Diego in June. You remember when we were in Barcelona and we heard that phenomenal idea from Marcella, from Stu, whoever brought it to us. That is what we use to help drive the next conversations.
I love how you're referring to Chuck Robbins's, message at Cisco Live San Diego, right? So, now we can really kind of touch base with that, right? So we can really come back and see, what was the progress in this month, right? Did we really do anything to achieve that? And I think we've done a lot of massive steps there. So it's just nice to have this feel of the previous events as well.
And think of what it takes to roll out a new idea. We just started talking about this bridge concept right now, and we're starting to see it, and people are getting a hold of it. It's starting to be internalized, and they're getting a heartfelt connection to what that really means to bridge that distance between the customer and the customer's future, between Cisco and the customer, between Cisco and the entire community, the industry all around us, as we continue to build our digital network future. Rolling out those ideas is a hard thing to do, so Chuck begins with those 5 key elements. Everybody initially is saying, okay, I think I understand what you're getting at. All of a sudden, we get to Orlando last June, and bam, it makes sense. It's all pictured for us.
The bridge, tell me more about it in terms of like corporate social responsibility.
You know what, the CSR thing is a really big piece of the puzzle, and we're going to be talking corporate social responsibility throughout the week. We have some of it happening live here in Barcelona. We have dedicated segments to discuss CSR, but Chuck had a great notice. I want to say it was in about October of this last year, where Chuck was talking about what is the future of CSR. Corporate social responsibility used to be adjunct. Here we are, we're this great company, we produce amazing capabilities, we drive the future of the industry, and yes, we also help the world as we do it. And we have this goal of helping over 1 billion people by 2025 here at Cisco. We've been working on it for years. What Chuck came out in October and said is, you know what? CSR is not a sideline, CSR is the company. It's who Cisco is, it's what we're all about. It's internal, and it is a key aspect, as much of a key aspect as any technology we produce.
And it's part of each one of us, right? So
Absolutely.
Every Cisco employee is responsible for, doing the best for the environment, for the world as a whole, right?
Yes.
So I really love bringing that piece, right? I mean, it was just a piece, but actually it should be just the company. So all of us are contributing to a better world.
Isn't it true? And the people who are walking by us right now, by the way, in case you're wondering why we are a little behind on our schedule, we were supposed to start about 12 minutes ago with the keynote. You know why? There are so many people having so much fun here in Barcelona. We can't get them all into the room fast enough. They are still streaming behind us, and every time, look at that shot, that beautiful shot that you've got right now of the keynote space. Already packed. People are still flooding in the door. We're getting them in as quickly as we can, but that is why we are so excited about this upcoming keynote. Everybody who's here will take a part in corporate responsibility by being here in Barcelona. If you get down here to the show, you can do exactly the same thing. You can become a part of Cisco's CSR commitment. We're about 10 seconds out, Agrim.
Yes.
So excited. Remember, we're going to see you right after the keynote is complete. We'll see you right back here in the studio. We're going to the keynote live right now. Enjoy.
Welcome to Cisco Live 2019.
Between what is hoped for and what can be, there's a bridge. Between the aspirations of a ball club and the greatest sports venue in America, there's a bridge. Between chaos and wonder, endangered and protected, there's a bridge. Built on technology that can solve, create, heal, inspire, and secure. A bridge. There from the beginning to where we stand today, and where we will go from here. One company, one promise. If you can imagine it, we will build the bridge to get you there. Cisco. The bridge to possible.
Please welcome Vice President EMEAR Marketing, Jeremy Bevan.
So who here has seen the film Blade Runner? Okay, keep your hand up if you saw it when it first came out. There's a few of you. 1982. 1982. That's 37 years ago. Yeah. How old are you feeling now? The thing is, all those things that they said would be happening in the film, they should be happening by now. We should have humanoid, lifelike robots amongst us, right? Well, not really. We haven't really got that yet, have we? We do have Sophia, the robot. I don't know, not exactly lifelike, but did anyone see Sophia singing on the Jimmy Fallon show, doing a little duet? That was pretty creepy. So we're not really there yet. But then again, there are other things. We should be seduced by digital billboards everywhere, advertising to us within an inch of our lives. And I suppose we do have that, don't we? I mean, you only need to look at Times Square, Piccadilly Circus, airports, shopping malls, and all around Cisco Live. There's plenty of things advertising for us, and maybe soon there will be an advert that says you can go and start a whole new life on another planet. Maybe that's coming soon. And then, of course, we should be talking to our computers by now. Alexa, what's the weather like in Barcelona today?
In Barcelona, Catalonia, it's 7 degrees Celsius.
Nice. It's snowing at home. Good to be here. Hey, Google, turn the lights off. Maybe back on. You know, the best thing about streaming this event to 30,000 people around the world is that somewhere, someone is telling Alexa to shut up and telling Google to turn the lights back on. Of course, the other thing the film showed is going into a phone booth to make a video call. Well, we don't need any of that phone booth nonsense. We've got it absolutely nailed. We went way past you here, Blade Runner. We got WebEx, we got TP, we can do it wherever we like. It gets you thinking, doesn't it? Because films are a reflection of kind of how things are today and how that might progress. What will things be like in the future? What could be possible? And I've spoken before at Cisco Live about that connection between what we do and what could be possible. And imagination is the most important thing to be able to create solutions that can make our lives better. From the smallest things in our personal lives through to things that can transform business, change the way we operate, drive efficiency, create new business models, all the way through to things that can make a difference and solve some of the world's biggest challenges. Technology is truly an enabler, and the technology we build at Cisco together with all of you remains at the heart of remarkable potential. Now, 35 years ago, Cisco was formed. That's 2 years after the Blade Runner film came out. And you may know that the first incarnation of the Cisco logo was inspired by the Golden Gate Bridge that crosses the Golden Gate Strait from San Francisco to Marin County Peninsula. And over time, that logo has evolved. Same as, you know, those trench coats in Blade Runner, they aren't really the fashion of today. Why is it, by the way, in all science fiction films, trench coats are the fashion of the future? I don't get that. But logos of companies become reimagined over time. And Cisco's logo has evolved too, but it also remains the same. It still represents that bridge, which is a powerful metaphor for what we do and who we are. We are a bridge that connects people and places and ideas to create the possible. And our purpose has never been more relevant than it is today. And towards the end of last year, we launched our Bridge to Possible campaign, which is actually about who we are. It's about with a definite purpose and mission. And that is to bring to life the stories of people, and real innovation behind them. And we are so honored to share stories as part of that campaign. So let's take a look at one of those stories now to show you exactly what I mean. Let's roll the video.
Stel je voor, de eerste zijde uit China. Kruiden uit Indië. Thee, rubber, suiker. Alle rijkdom van de wereld kwamen hier, in deze plaats.
For over 500 years, the lifeblood of commerce has flowed in and out of the port of Rotterdam. Today, it's on a scale and at a speed never before imagined, until now.
There is a lot at stake. We have vessels entering the dangerous cargo. We have very large container carriers. If one gets stuck in the entrance, the entire harbor is jammed. Consequences, safety-wise and economically, are immense if something goes wrong. The logistics are easy, but to make the puzzle work, that is complicated.
Making the puzzle work is a network of sensors spread across the port's 41 square miles, providing terabits of data. 200 calculations a minute. Wind, tides, currents, and visibility to help guide 130,000 ships a year and protect 468 million tons of cargo.
In my function, in my job, the security is the main thing. If we have the right data and the reliability is proven, we can predict what the situation will be 3, 4, 5 hours in advance, and we can plan with that. After careful evaluation and planning, everything is possible in Rotterdam, and that's the thing we are proud of.
The confidence to run Europe's largest port, and one company delivers all that sensor data safely, delivers all that data securely. Between the storied past and a modern efficiency the Dutch would call
ongelooflijk,
there's a bridge. Cisco, the bridge to possible.
Now, you might think that the stories that we're going to share are going to be all about technology to solve problems, big problems, like the one you've just seen, to create something new or change the way a business works. And that's true, it is, but it's also about how Cisco changes the lives of people. And we have wonderful stories, and I would encourage you to check them out on Cisco.com. People whose lives have been absolutely transformed, even through simple things like enrolling in the Cisco Net Academy. You should check out the story of Soso when you get the chance. She was now working as a chief solutions engineer in Africa, and her life and the life of her family has been transformed as a result of her getting trained and now working as an engineer. And the wonderful thing is that she is an inspiration to other women as well. And actually, I bumped into her yesterday here at Cisco Live. So you may bump into her, and you may want to say hello and get her to tell you her story personally. Between what is hoped for and what can be, there is a bridge. Cisco is passionately committed to being the bridge for people, for growth and opportunity for people all around the world. And we are committed to positively impact the lives of 1 billion people by 2025. Now, I want to remind you that here this week we have the Gateway. And you may remember that we launched the Gateway a couple of years ago here at Cisco Live, and we now have thousands of customers participating with us. And I'm delighted to tell you that we have 32 customers who are here with us, and they will be telling their stories, their voices, their stories in the Gateway booth here this week. And I would invite you to go and see those stories. And we would love for you to share your stories too. either here this week, on the Gateway booth, or afterwards. So share yours and join in the Gateway program. So welcome, everyone, to Cisco Live EMEA. This is our biggest event ever. Can't you tell? It's great to have you with us for this week. It's a week of new connections, of partnerships, of knowledge sharing, and inspirational sessions. And this year, we have quite a few new things. One of the things you will see is all of that come to life in our bridge experience located out in the playground. In real time, we will showcase all that is happening around Cisco Live. You will build a bridge through your combined contributions through the week. You can interact with it, contribute to it, and we will watch the bridge build over the next 4 days. And one more thing. Cisco's Global Problem Solver Challenge. We invite teams of students and recent graduates to submit world-changing technology ideas. And we have 3 companies with us here this week using technology to create those types of solutions. A cholera detection kit, detecting pathogens and giving results in just 30 minutes. A stove which burns 70% less biomass and generates electricity. And an energy application monitoring all energy sources and alerting for unusual activity. So we are delighted to be setting you up for the whole week here in this keynote this morning. And it's great that we have David Goeckeler with us, our Executive Vice President and General Manager of Cisco's Networking and Security Business Group, together with members of his leadership team. They are here to provide you with the latest updates from them and from our customers. So I will leave you in the hands of David and his team.
Today, every company on the planet is looking at a new reality. One that says that you're no longer tapping into a cloud, you're unleashing its full potential. Adapt to change faster. Connect anyone to anything, anywhere, faster. You want to grow your business? Boom. Here's the thing. This new reality comes with realities of its own. Applications are harder to control, harder to secure. Costs escalate. And ever-increasing complexity, suddenly, you're running out of resources, man. But guess what? Between all the promises and making it happen, there's a bridge. One built on security that isn't an afterthought, but the main thought. Intentional from the start, in the right place at the right time between all your connections. One that lets you deliver applications on time, on any platform for a better experience every time. And one that lets you manage an entire network simply at scale. This is the new reality made real. And the company that invented the network in the first place is now ready to take you to this new place, where the power of the network moves at the speed of the cloud. Wherever you are, wherever you need to go, happens like that. Smarter, deeper, and more flexible than ever. And this is the bridge to get you there.
Cisco, the bridge to possible.
Please welcome EVP and GM Networking and Security Business, David Goeckeler.
All right, good morning, everyone. It is great to be back in Barcelona for Cisco Live. All right, for all of us engineers, this is our week. We look forward to this. This is the time where we get to talk about all the innovation that we've been working on for the last year. Right? All the stuff that's been going on behind the scenes, all the work we've been doing, we get to come out here and share it with you this week. So we look forward to that. All the top engineers from Cisco are here, and we're here with all of you, all the top engineers from our customers. And it's going to be a great week, and I can't wait to dive into that innovation. We've got all kinds of new things to talk to you about. Now, you know, I was walking around this room this morning before all of you got here, and it struck me, this is a pretty big room. There's a lot of people in here. The number of engineers we have working every day, hardware and software engineers across the whole portfolio, would fill up this room 4 times over. Over 25,000 people work every day to build the solutions we're going to talk about this week here at Cisco Live. You're going to get to experience all of that work, and everybody is passionate about building that to simplify your lives, to solve your most difficult problems. All right, before we dive into the innovation, and the innovation engine at Cisco is on fire. Right, we're really proud of all the work that's been going on. I'm going to give you a little bit of the big picture of where we're going across the whole portfolio, right? We can't dive right in. I got to make you wait just a little bit. Give you the big picture. All right, we've been talking about this for the past 18 months. We've been talking about reinventing networking. That's a big deal for Cisco to come out and talk about reinventing network. So why have we been doing that? Right? All of you know. When I meet with you, all of you tell me, look, the IT landscape that you're dealing with today is radically different than it was even a couple years ago. The amount of complexity we have to deal with, the requirements, the pace at which things are moving, all very, very different. So let's look at why is that the case, and what are we doing about it at Cisco as we think about how we're going to build the future of the network. All right, there's a couple big things going on out there. First of all, the cloud. We've talked about it. This is the major technology trend of our day. It's changing everything. Across our portfolio, it's changing the whole portfolio, how we build it, how we leverage the cloud. And it's changing everything for you. It's increasing the pace of innovation. The amount of capabilities that are being delivered are incredible. But we need to think about it a little differently now. We're a decade in. The common way we talked about this was everything's moving to the cloud. It's not an issue of moving. Think of it as an expanding. The world is expanding to the cloud. And it's not a single cloud. There's multiple clouds. So from a networking and security perspective, this creates a much more complex world for us. It's a great world. It has a lot of capabilities, but we have to deal with that. So the world is expanding to the cloud, and you're going to see that throughout the entire portfolio, how that's impacting the way we build networking. Second major thing that's happening, all of you know this. You are building the next generation of digital experiences. Whether that's how you deal with your internal employees and the kind of services they expect, how do you deal with your customers, the supply chain. Users want access to any information on any device at any time. Whether it's a major IoT project and what we're connecting to the network, we're building the next generation of digital experiences. So when you put these two things together, we have a different set of variables for all of us to worry about. We've got, on one side of the network, we've got users and devices constantly changing. Many, many more users on your network, many devices, experiences across any of those devices. On the other side of the network, you've got applications and data constantly moving, constantly changing. Applications have been virtualized and containerized and now run across multiple clouds. They run in your data center. They run at the edge of the network. Data is not just in one place. Data is not just in the data center. Data is all across the network. And these things change. The intersection of this, they change all the time. Traditional networking wasn't built for this environment. This is not get all of your static users' data to the data center because that's where your application is. The world is much more dynamic now. We have to think about the network from a, how do we automate things? How do we use analytics? How do we secure it differently? Much more dynamic environment. This is causing us to rethink what I call every single networking domain there is. From the campus, your wired and wireless access, to the branch and the wide area network, IT, OT, IoT, that whole domain. How do we bring the operational technology together with the IT environment, the data center, cloud providers, service providers undergoing the same thing, how to automate the network, 5G is coming, and finally security, the most important domain of them all. We've thought about security as something separate. Now we've got to think about it integrated across all of these domains. So every single one of these networking domains is changing because the environment and the problem we're solving is much more complex. But here's the key. The key is, where Cisco's going, is not just evolve these independently, but how do they all come together in what we call a multi-domain architecture. We have to think about how we integrate all of these together to simplify the whole networking environment from the user to the application. And how do we get any user on any device to any application over any network and do that securely? And to do that, we've got to think about how do we bring all of these domains together into one architecture. And I think you're going to see that as you look at the portfolio. As you look at the number of things this week, start to put this lens on the portfolio. It's not just how are we evolving the campus, it's how are we bringing the campus together with a branch, one unified policy architecture across the whole thing that's automated. How do we bring the data center and the cloud together in a hybrid world? How do we integrate security across every domain? The branch is changing. So we're bringing all of this together. Network that sits at this intersection of users, devices, applications, and data. It's dynamic, it changes, it allows you to deal with the technology environment you live in today. All right, we think only Cisco can build this. Why? Because we have all the pieces. From the campus to the branch to the data center, security, service provider, we have all the pieces. And as those 25,000 engineers work every day, they're thinking about how to integrate this entire architecture together, automate it, secure it, drive analytics through it, to build a simpler environment for all of you to power your business. All right. Now, we've been on this journey for a while now. It's been about 18 months. We're not going to do this in one step. And we started this journey a number of years ago with ACI. It was all about the policy-based automation of the data center. We moved to the campus. Last year, at Cisco Live in Barcelona, we talked about assurance. How do we bring things like the network assurance engine? How do we bring wireless analytics to you? All of that, how do we use all of that data we have in the network to deliver a better experience? So this week, we're going to take several more steps in that journey. We're going to talk about data center innovations. What's the latest we're doing in the data center? We're going to talk about SD-WAN and security. The WAN is one of the biggest, as customers adopt the cloud, as all of you adopt the cloud, you need to rethink about your WAN. We're going to talk about that. And it's not just software defining the WAN. How do you think about security that's integrated into that whole architecture? And then finally, we're going to talk about IoT. Maybe one of the most exciting parts of the networking business right now, the number of devices we're connecting to the network. And it's not just devices, it's entire industries that are changing as we bring IP technology to places we just haven't brought it before. So that's what we're going to talk about this week. The innovation engine is on fire, and we're going to start it off in the data center. And to take you through that is Roland Akra, that leads the data center business for Cisco. Roland, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. It's such a treat for me to be here, to be back home first, to be with you. You might know my first steps with Cisco was walking in your shoes, designing and operating networks, the first IP networks, 1991. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Ask Jeremy Bevan. He was watching Blade Runner in 1982. To expand on David's introduction, I want to talk about what the data center in our vision is becoming. And the first thing I want to put out there is something that I hope many of us can relate to in one or more forms. We see our developers wanting to take advantage of the tooling and the speed and agility that the cloud affords them. We see data growing outside the data center. In retail, data has a perishable lifetime. You act on it while a consumer is there, you get the benefit to the business. It has to be acted on location and on time. We see for disaster recovery and resiliency, people wanting to either distribute multiple data centers or take advantage of colos or bare metal clouds and so on and so forth. So we all have these realities to deal with, as we can see on the picture. And really, we want to take the data center and the goodness we developed for the application or for the data in the data center, wherever the data or wherever the application goes. And so we capture this with a cute phrase. There's no longer anything centered about the data center. And really, that's the theme of the section that I'm going to be leading with you here. And we're going to take a look at a couple of these examples. But first off, I want to tell you what we're announcing today to the world. We're announcing 3 things. Number 1, ACI Anywhere. Number 2, HyperFlex Anywhere. And number 3, some exciting capabilities with Cloud Center Suite, our workload orchestration tool. We're going to spend several minutes looking really vividly at what we mean by ACI Anywhere and what are the new capabilities. We're going to do the same thing for HyperFlex. So on Cloud Center, what I want to do is a call out to an innovation showcase session that would be entirely dedicated to what we're doing for private cloud and workload orchestration. A couple of nuggets that I'll tease you with. Number 1, very exciting cost optimization and orchestration capabilities within Cloud Center. And number 2, a new SaaS delivery model, so a new consumption model for software that until now had been enjoyable on-premise and now can be consumed directly via SaaS. Starting with ACI Anywhere, the first that I want to do is just a quick reminder of what we have done with ACI. What was the real benefit from ACI? We wanted to optimize networks. We wanted to protect business. We brought segmentation to multi-tiered applications. We brought policy and selective access to nodes of an application. And obviously, we wanted to simplify operations. You guys are always having to do more to empower your developers, in addition to what you've had to do all along in making software and applications available. And automation and integrations with many, many third-party systems have been at the foundation of how we help you achieve with ACI. Now, the journey has been now around for 5 years. We're almost to the day at a 5-year anniversary on ACI. And we're really proud that we have achieved this #1 software-defined network solution on the planet. And who deserves the thanks for that if not you? It's your adoption of new technology. It's you holding our hands and telling us, here's how you should improve it. Here's how you should enhance it. Here's how you can make my life easier. Thanks to you. Thank you for making us the #1 solution provider there, because it is really your enthusiastic technology adoption and your tough love and your coaching to us that makes us able to deliver that. I'm really grateful to you for that. The journey has had many themes. We started off initially focusing on scale. We helped people go from small fabrics to bigger fabrics to multiple data centers. From there, we decided that multi-site was much more important when disaster recovery and resiliency was something that people cared about. We then focused on extending the reach in places where you may not think of a fabric of switches. Could be extended locations, forward deployed workloads, in branch offices, in colos, in factories, in places where you only have the luxury of deploying, say, 1 switch. And then we completely virtualized it by decoupling the software from the hardware, allowing you to take advantage of either bare metal clouds or environments where you may have brownfield infrastructure from Cisco or not, and still took the policy and the consistency of ACI. And today, we're adding the leg of fully deployed workloads on infrastructure as a service in more than one cloud. One of the things I would like to call your attention to is the commitment that we've had all along to always being agnostic and open to every hypervisor, to every container framework. That has been our definition of multi-cloud in a private cloud setting. We're taking that same philosophy and making the multi-cloud reality here today when people want to enjoy more than one public cloud in fully virtualized infrastructure as a service mode, with the consistency of policy and management. So with that, there's no better person I can bring on stage than Ronak Desai, who's the Vice President of Engineering of our ACI team. Ronak, welcome on stage.
Thank you. Thank you, Roland.
So Ronak, 5 years, and I think you've been on it since day one, all 5 years.
Yes, Roland. It's been a long journey. You know, when I started on this journey, I used to have a lot of hair.
Well, I can't help you there. I used to have a lot of hair too, but look, delighting customers makes it worth it, doesn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Let's talk about what we're going to show here to vividly illustrate what ACI in the cloud is going to do for people.
Right. So, you know, Roland, the next big innovation on ACI is the multi-cloud capability. So just to illustrate the power of multi-cloud capability for ACI, let me walk you through one of the customer scenario. So we have this customer here based in Barcelona. They have data center here locally, but they are thinking of expanding globally. And they do not have data centers in other region. So they are looking at public cloud as an option. Also, their developers are asking flexibility to deploy their workload into some of those public clouds. But their CIO is really concerned about the cloud lock-in, right? So they came to us and saying, Cisco, can you solve my consistent network connectivity across on-prem as well as the multi-clouds, and also the segmentation policy? And that's where we started on this journey. And just to illustrate that through a quick demo, let's just look at it here. So what we are seeing here is our ACI multi-site orchestrator. So as you can see it here, in the interest of time, Roland, what I did was I registered our on-prem site, which is in Barcelona, as well as a site, ACI site, which is running on AWS in Americas, as well as the Azure site, which is running in Australia. And we registered them. And as you can see here, just by registering it, we are able to pull in the health of all those sites and able to show you here in one console.
So there's more to it than orchestration. We're also listening to telemetry from these clouds in order to tell people if it's healthy or not.
That's correct, Roland. So not only we listen to the on-prem telemetry coming from the ACI, but we also watch tools like CloudWatch on AWS and similar tools on Azure, and basically take all that visibility and up-level it here for you, right? So let's just quickly view our ACI site on AWS. As you can see it, the health score is all green, 100. And let's look at the connectivity from perspective of AWS site, which is running in America, to the other side. As you can see it here, it's all green, and it looks pretty healthy.
So the way you do it, it looks like a universal remote control. And I say that because we know that Azure and AWS are very different targets. They have different API sets, different metaphors, different ways of doing things, but yet you were able to do it from one system.
That's right, Roland. Just to kind of illustrate the power of automation, to do this in a traditional way, you have to execute 3,300 commands on your cloud router and an on-prem router. Here, I did that with few clicks and few input parameters. So that's the power of automation. ACI is not only about network connectivity, but it's also about the segmentation policy. To just show you that, let's look at our application, which is running here in Barcelona. As you can see, this application is deployed with its segmentation policy, and it looks all green. What am I going to do here now is just do a couple of clicks and try to deploy this application on AWS and Azure. And let's hit deploy. And when we hit deploy, we are basically doing bunch of API calls from an Azure and AWS standpoint, and it takes a couple of seconds, and as you can see it here, it's all deployed very, very quickly in a very simple way. Let's deep dive a little bit on and look at the AWS side, which is our ACI side here. And as you can see, the dashboard looks all green. Just to show you the segmentation policy, let's click down here. As you can see here, our web tier can only talk to the DB tier on SQL. This was the segmentation policy you had defined. And we are able to show you what are the cloud resources also which are getting consumed here.
That's the protect your business part of it, which is if you're holding consumer data, the database had better be only accessible by anybody having the right business to it. I've got to ask you one more question. Are we talking about future directions here? Are we talking about things that are imminently available?
So this is very, very real, Roland, as real that we had to shut down our EFT because we had so much interest. We'll be shipping this very, very soon. And just to leave you with one thought, you know, ACI, when I started on this journey, we wanted to be hypervisor agnostic. We have done the same thing for multi-cloud, and we are multi-cloud agnostic. It doesn't matter. We'll provide you the consistent policy from a standpoint of network connectivity, as well as segmentation across any cloud, including your on-prem ACI.
Ronak, thank you. Thank you for the demo.
Thank you very
and
much.
I really hope that you see that this is something truly unique. No one else can do this, a true multi-cloud capability across more than one cloud. So I'm going to move over to the now demonstration section of HyperFlex Anywhere, our new announcement. And similarly, I want to do just a very quick recap of the themes of HyperFlex's journey. Initially, we focused on simplicity and speed of deployment. After all, what is hyperconvergence about if it's not that, a cloud in a box, quickly ready to go and deploy applications on? From there, we worked on hardening and making it worthy of any application, including mission-critical applications, databases, ERP systems. And then from there, familiar song, went to multi-cloud, hypervisor agnostic, container framework agnostic. And today, what we're announcing with HyperFlex Anywhere is the ability to deploy conveniently, quickly, and at massive scale clusters of hyperconvergence outside of the data center in branch locations and forward locations. And in order to show you some of the demonstrations of that, I'm going to invite on stage Kostab Das. He goes by KD, who's the Vice President of Product Management for our UCS and HyperFlex business. KD, welcome on stage.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
So, KD, you've been the spiritual father, the steady hand at the tiller for HyperFlex from the beginning, haven't you? What a journey.
I have, and what an innovation journey we've had. It's been incredible.
Let's talk about what we're going to show people here with HyperFlex Anywhere.
Yeah, so let's take a look. So our customers' data is really moving everywhere. And our customers want to move their data centers everywhere. So our fictional customer today is a retailer. It's called Casa Depot. They're expanding rapidly into Europe. And they want to get 30 locations stood up very, very fast. IT is a little nervous about it. They don't want to slow the business down.
So IT is nervous. How would IT have done it prior to HyperFlex Anywhere?
It's a little complicated. So what IT would do typically today is they would pick a central location. They would get all the gear there. They would rack and stack it there, test it, unrack it, then move gear and people to store number 1, then to store number 2, then to store number 3, and keep going in that fashion until it's all done. Obviously, it takes time, and it's error-prone.
It's error-prone. But there must be a better way?
There sure is. So what we do is we do a 3-step process. We start with a pilot store in Barcelona. We use that pilot to then automate the deployment of a second store in London. And then we deploy through the power of the cloud into all stores. So Barcelona store has chosen the HyperFlex 2-node edge device. It's cloud connected via Intersight, and it has this nifty innovation called a cloud witness for data resiliency. So once you get that store up and running, you've got the application on that store up and running, and then it's going into the Intersight cloud management console to replicate it to London.
So we're going to take a look at this, but I want to ask you, you mentioned Intersight a couple of times. Intersight has been our cloud-tethered cloud delivery system for UCS in every form, for converged infrastructure stacks and hyperconverged. Are we talking about the same Intersight now going?
The same Intersight. It's our singular cloud management solution for our UCS servers, our converged infrastructure stacks, hyperconverged, our entire portfolio is the same exact Intersight.
One point of management. Let's
take a look. So I'm going to get into Intersight right now. And as we can see, our Barcelona store is up and running on the top right. It's healthy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a replica of the profile for that. So I'm going to get into the profiles, hit clone. And at this point, I'm going to give it a name for the London store. So we give it a name, and we hit clone. And at that point, what it's doing is Intersight is creating an exact replica of the Barcelona store for London. So we'll do a few more things. London's in different time zones. We'll get into London. And what we'll do is we'll disassociate the old profile. I'm going to select the policy for the right time zone there. I'll check a few more things. We're also running our SD-WAN solution on here for connectivity. So I'm going to make sure those settings are correct. Looks like the summary is all good. I hit submit. And at this point, Intersight takes over to do all the automation for the London store behind the scenes.
So automation, well done, looks incredibly simple, almost to the point of boredom.
Yeah.
What does actually happen behind the scenes that automation has taken care of? Can you give us a sense for that?
Yeah, let's take a look. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, and Intersight is managing that. So Intersight from the cloud is taking these service profiles for the servers. And for the London store, first it's getting the servers up and running, installing the hypervisor, getting those up and running. At that point, you need to get the VM for the SD-WAN installed. So that gets installed. The right policies for the SD-WAN settings get put onto it. And then, at that point, you've got to get the distributed file system, the Hyperflex Edge cluster installed. The LUNs get created. There's a whole bunch of things that happen to get the whole infrastructure up and running. All of this is happening behind the scenes from the cloud, deployed from anywhere through Intersight.
Consistent management. And so for the company to go into the several dozen other sites, it's a rinse and repeat from here.
It's a rinse and repeat. So let's go back here, see what's happened to the London store. We have the London up and running. I'm going to get back into the dashboard for a second. And we see the Barcelona store up on the top right. That's healthy. I've got the London store bottom right. That's healthy. You can see the capacity and the utilization. Those are good. So for going into doing this for the rest of the 28 stores, like you said, it's rinse and repeat. What one does is one loads the profiles into Intersight, all of the service profiles. Intersight then can actually deploy all of the stores, potentially in parallel, for the rest of the 28.
And we'll scale out from there, all with consistency. Excellent. KD, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the demoing. Again, I hope you see this is unique. This is unique. The ability to do such scalable hyperconvergence outside the data center with cloud management, all cloud delivered, is really unique. And I want to end up with simply calling your attention to the fact that I'm doing an innovation showcase half an hour after the end of this session, not half an hour from now, at the end of the session, to get deeper into both ACI Anywhere and HyperFlex Anywhere. And with this, I want to thank you all and give it back to David.
All right, thanks, Roland. Tremendous innovation. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I just want to make sure. So first of all, you're right. Everybody's got to stick around to the end, and then they can go to your innovation session. Don't go too early. And all this is shipping, right? Very soon.
Early field trials today.
It's all technology out in the wild. All right, congratulations. Thank you. All right, incredible innovation in the data center. I don't know if we should call it the data center anymore. It's really, taking the innovation to where the data is. That's the reality. It's not about getting the traffic to one place. It's about taking the innovation to where the data and the applications really are. All right, let's move on and let's talk about another part of the network that's undergoing incredible change, and that's the wide area network, the branch. The move to the software-defined WAN. And it's not just, again, it's not just the branch and the WAN that's becoming software-defined, but we have to think about how we integrate this with security. And to talk about that, Gordon Thompson, who leads sales for our entire enterprise networking business, come on up and take it away.
Thank you, David. Good morning, Barcelona. Morning. The time is now. The time is now, if you have not started already, to start to re-architect your wide area network. Why do I say that? I don't say that because of the software innovation we've developed on SD-WAN is making it easier for you to drive that technology transition. Of course it does. I say it because the technology innovation we've developed around SD-WAN is absolutely helping you drive today digital acceleration in your business. And this is why I ask every one of you to leave here today thinking about how you drive that architectural change in your WAN if you've not already started to do it. You see, it's been simple up until now. We have users in a branch or a campus. They connect to applications that all sat in a data center. You built robust MPLS circuits to connect them both together. That meant that the performance of the application was guaranteed. It was pretty easy to deliver security. And occasionally, people would want to break out of the data center to the internet. And we did that via a DMZ in the data center to break out to the internet. Then we started to develop and use cloud-based applications. Then we started to use hundreds of cloud-based applications. And we ran into the challenge now of being able to provide performance out through that internet connection for all of your cloud-based applications. This model was no longer viable. It was no longer viable for a number of reasons. First of all, if you needed more bandwidth to the internet, ultimately you needed to create more bandwidth across your MPLS circuit in the WAN, and that became costly. So you started to then think about how else you could deal with that. The easiest way to deal with it was to think about how we built direct internet access into every branch. This then became your second problem, the problem of complexity. Now I don't have one internet connection. Potentially I've got hundreds of internet connections, which then leads to your third problem. If I've got hundreds of internet connections in my business, maybe that's a bit of a security challenge for me, and how am I going to deal with that? And the final challenge being, if my applications are running across the internet to the cloud, how am I going to drive performance and assure performance of those applications for all of my users? 4 things we needed to solve. This model was probably not viable anymore. The great news is, Cisco's SD-WAN technologies with both Meraki and Viptela are solving these challenges for you today. We are moving the internet edge, or the cloud edge, from the data center all the way out to the branch. And we're moving it all the way out to the branch so that your users can access seamlessly any of those applications, no matter where those applications reside. The software innovations that we're driving into the portfolio today are allowing you to think differently. They're allowing you to change. Change is a funny word. It's easy for me to stand up here and say, hey, you need to change. But the minute somebody looks into my eyes and says, Gordon, you need to change, I think of change differently. I think of, well, maybe I don't need to change. Well, I've already changed. I don't need to change anymore. I start to ignore the fact that I need to change. So here's Gordon standing here saying to all of you, you need to change. And I know every single one of you are standing there saying, Gordon doesn't need to tell me I need to change. I've already changed already. So I'd like to invite a customer onto stage who's going to talk about how they've already gone through that change process. They thought about change a number of years ago, and they've gone through that change process, and hopefully by introducing you to that, all of us will leave today believing that there is a real need to accelerate change within our business. So please welcome onto stage Pascal Haguer from Agilent Technologies. Pascal.
Hey, Gordon.
Good to see you.
How are you?
I'm very well. Please take a seat. We're better taking a seat because he's a lot taller than me. I feel a lot better when we're sitting down. Pascal, first of all, before we talk about change, maybe explain to everybody who Agilent Technologies are. Some people might not know in the audience.
Sure. Agilent Technologies is a leading manufacturer for solutions and instruments that are used in the diagnostics, the life sciences, and the pharmaceutical space. We're represented in over 30 countries and service our customers in over 110 countries. And we're pretty much equally split in size between the Americas, Europe, and Asia Pacific. We generate around 5 billion or so in revenue annually, and we employ some 15,000 people. All of our offices used to be interconnected through a single global MPLS services provider, where we had in-region, internet-based breakouts with the full security stack that you'd expect to see in order to keep our end users, as well as our customers, safe. Really, we've been a big adopter of IP-based collaboration tools, and in general, I think our company keeps up pretty well with new technology that helps us move our business forward.
That's good.
And I think in late 2015 or so, we started looking more seriously at cloud and SaaS-based service offerings as well.
So I mentioned earlier on that you've driven change in the organization. What were the key reasons why you believed you needed to change?
Well, we felt it was starting to become a real challenge to keep up with some of the change that we were seeing in technology. We were seeing more video to the desktop, an explosion of BYOD and smart devices in our network. And really, where the infrastructure was residing was changing. And being locked into this somewhat isolated MPLS-based infrastructure didn't really lend itself well to get our employees and our end users closer to where the data was going. And so we needed to rethink what we were doing. Our business was changing as well. And we started to become a more agile development as well as a solution-based company. We started launching our own SaaS-based service offering for our customers to help them manage their labs more effectively. Our instruments started streaming IoT-based telemetry. And we're starting to get a feedback with machine learning models in order to get AI-driven results from data that's coming out of our instruments.
It's interesting because you mentioned earlier that in the past it would sometimes take you 3 or 4 weeks to be able to deliver some of those analytical capabilities to your customers.
Mm-hmm.
Now with these cloud-based capabilities, you were doing it in days and hours.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of our spectrometer particle-based simulations used to take weeks in order to run, and today we're doing that in less than a day, but it requires the scalability of the cloud. And so how do we get there?
So changing is never easy, as we've mentioned earlier on. What was the process you went through as an organization to drive that change? And why did you choose Cisco Viptela technology?
Well, when we started looking at the SD-WAN space, this was early or late 2015, when it was really just a buzzword. There were about 20 or so vendors that claimed to have an SD-WAN services offering. We narrowed that down to 3 vendors and built a lab that closely resembles what a wide area network looked like. And we wrote a pretty extensive 220-page testing procedure that was specifically designed to prove out all of the aspects that we were looking for in our SD-WAN solution. In the end, we signed up with Viptela, now Cisco SD-WAN, because they were the only vendor to successfully run through all of our test cases. I think today it's been over a year since we cut over our last site onto SD-WAN, and we've seen some great successes. We're now able to extend our network into the cloud much easier, and the ability to go from a pretty complex per node routing model into a unified programmable WAN fabric that stretches into the cloud was really key to some of our success here. Our networking team is starting to become more agile as well in some of the developments that we're doing, and we ended up spinning up kind of like an agile secure exchange in the cloud. We spun up 15 different availability zones, put our SD-WAN routers in there, put a full security stack in there, and started advertising a default route. And today, 100% of our internet destined traffic gets scanned for viruses, and we do our URL filtering for the entire enterprise.
And what were then the results of you going through that process? I look up at the slide just now and I see some funky numbers up there, 3x, 41x, 4x. What does all that mean?
Yeah, ever since the start of the program, we ended up tripling our site-to-site bandwidth. We now offer 41 times the internet capacity we used to have available. And we've quadrupled our site's WAN resiliency, and 100% of our end-user traffic that traverses our wide area network is now encrypted. Not only that, we run this wide area network at the same cost as with our MPLS-only infrastructure. So SD-WAN was really fundamental for us in order to start moving our business forward. And it was a key component for us to start running our workloads in the cloud and consider these workloads really an extension of our own internal network and our own internal data center.
Pascal, my final question to you would be SD-WAN, technology transition, or SD-WAN business transformation?
It was a complete business transformation for us, absolutely.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Great to see you.
You're so welcome.
Thanks for your time. And as Pascal leaves stage, I've got some great news for him and some great news for all of our customers in the room today as well. Because we're continuing down that route of SD-WAN software innovation, and we're launching Cisco Secure SD-WAN. This is about us creating a complete integrated security stack within the software of our SD-WAN capabilities already. So within our ASRs and ISR routers, you now get embedded in them an enterprise-class firewall. You get embedded within them IPS services to monitor malicious activity and to help you cut out policy violations. You have URL filtering capabilities to make sure that your users are going to the appropriate websites as required. And then many of you are building on-prem security services, but you also now want to start to build cloud-based security services on top of that. So we're making it super simple for you within our SD-WAN capabilities to integrate Cisco's umbrella management capabilities too. So how does that look? Well, that looks something like this. We've now moved the internet and the cloud edge all the way out to your branch. And in that branch, we have one piece of software, one piece of multi-purpose software that's doing all of your security capabilities for you at the same time, as well as all of your wide area network capabilities too, so that your users can get to any application securely and with performance guaranteed, no matter where that application sits. And then if you want to augment that security capability with cloud-based security on top of that, guess what? You can do that with Cisco. Now think about that, because there's only one vendor in the marketplace that can take the best of breed capabilities of on-prem security and merge them together with the cloud-based security capabilities we've got from Umbrella and deliver world-class security to you. And this matters even more as your users start to become and demand to be more remote over time. So we've talked about flexibility and simplicity of management. We've talked about security. Another thing that's really important to us is performance. And with our latest SD-WAN announcements and innovations, we've also provided better performance around Office 365 for all of you who are Office 365 users. And at the same time, we're embedding much deeper analytical capabilities into our portfolio. Because we know that we need to embed deeper, greater analytical capabilities to assure performance for you moving forward. So the vAnalytic capabilities now allow us to start to look at the past and use complex AI and machine learning algorithms to start to predict the future. And as we start to predict the future for you, we can better determine the bandwidth requirements you need at every branch. So you're not reacting to customers when customers start to complain about application performance in the branch. You're predicting it in advance, and you're making sure the user every time is getting a predictable service from Cisco. So if you think about what we've talked about today, we've talked about simplicity. We've talked about flexibility. We've talked about security. We've talked about application analytics and performance. And all of those capabilities are available to all of our customers in either our Cisco Meraki SD-WAN offer or indeed our Cisco Viptela SD-WAN offer. SD-WAN absolutely is a bridge for every single one of our customers. I ask all of you today to think about stepping out on that bridge and going from the side of technology transition and coming with us on a journey to digital business acceleration. Our SD-WAN solutions will deliver that for you today. With that, David, I'll hand back to you and thank the audience for their time. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Gordon. Look, I thought Pascal, I thought what you said when you were talking about what were you doing, you're talking about extending your network into the cloud. I mean, what could be a more perfect way to think about this idea? We talked about at the beginning, as everybody expands into the cloud, we got to rethink how we build the network. And the network becomes that foundation of business transformation. So, and again, for us, it's not just about how do we change the WAN by itself. How do we think about the WAN, the cloud, security, integrate it all into one solution?
This is where our unique differentiation lies.
Yeah, all right, fantastic, thank you. All right, so hopefully you're seeing why we're so excited at Cisco. I mean, the amount of innovation we're driving across the entire infrastructure and the change that all of you are going through. Like I said, the cloud is a fundamental change. It's having us rethink the entire networking infrastructure. All right, as I said at the beginning, one of the most, I think, exciting areas in networking right now is IoT, about all the different things that are being connected to the network and how we're transforming entire new industries as we bring IP technology into those. So it's a very important part of our portfolio, and Liz Santoni is going to tell us all about it. Liz?
For years, we've been hearing about IoT.
Ooh, look, my cat just woke up. Let me put the lights on for her.
It's time to get real. This is about big industry-changing things, complex things. It's about a network of things that includes this, and these, and that thing, and whatever this is. You've got more data than you can shake a stick at, and that stick generates data too. This is industrial-strength IoT. It connects turbines to power grids, pipeline operations to refineries, first responders to life-saving devices. It's a big challenge, and it makes a difference to our lives. So how do you meet it head-on? Not like this. Like this. Only Cisco can securely connect tens of thousands of assets at the farthest edge of your network to the heart of your business, no matter the scale. With security built in, not bolted on, and a flexible network to grow as your business expands. Now, IT's happy, ops are happy, innovation is accelerated, business is transformed, lives are improved. Between big ideas and big results, there's a bridge. Cisco, the bridge to possible.
Please welcome SVP and GM IoT, Liz Santoni.
Good morning, Barcelona. IoT. You know, IoT is that term that actually gets thrown around a lot. It's like a marketing person's dream. You know, you take IoT, you slap it onto anything that you want, and suddenly it's supposed to become really, really cool. So actually, I want to make a promise. I want to talk about real news. I want to talk about real technology, real products that actually over 50,000 of our customers have deployed together today. And in a little bit later, I actually want to bring up one of our customers, one of you, because I want you to hear from them on how they've deployed Cisco technology to solve real problems. Okay? So here we go. I like my job. It's really cool. I actually get to talk to customers like you every single day. And usually the conversation on IoT goes something like this, and I'm going to give you the abbreviated version because we don't have a lot of time. So let's picture all of us are actually going to a car manufacturing company, and we're sitting in front of a line of business leader. The number one question that I get is, how can I use IoT to actually improve my end customer experience? Because I actually want to sell them more things. I want to sell more connected car services, like infotainment in the car, so you can find the best tapas place around here. I want to sell more things like in-car Wi-Fi hotspot. So the conversation is usually about, how can you help me compete and grow? So let's then move to the people who actually make the cars on the plant floors. And the conversation goes something like this. How can you help me bring IoT so I can produce more cars? So more yield, better quality, and I want to bring security all the way down to the plant floor, because then I'm in control over what devices get on my network with things like device profiling. I want to use things like network segmentation so I can play zone defense. You get the picture. So whether you're in energy, whether you're in healthcare, whether you're in retail, it really doesn't matter. You can increase your top line, grow your bottom line using IoT. That could be from us, it could be from someone else, to actually address real-world problems. But here's the actually bottom line of our discussion today. Because what you need that robust foundation of a secure and reliable network. Because if you don't have that, most IoT projects fail. You can go out, you can actually buy the best sensors, the best middleware, the best applications. But without that foundation of that robust and reliable network, IoT projects are probably not going to take off the ground. It's simple. Your network is the enabler of your business outcomes. And that's why Cisco's in it. So I want to talk about intent-based networking. And I know you heard this from David before. So intent-based networking started for us in the data center with ACI. We expanded into the campus with Catalyst and with Cisco DNA Center. And then we moved it into SD-WAN. And I'm really happy to announce that we're now extending that exact same architecture into your edge and IoT environments. Only Cisco. Cisco is the only company on this planet that actually can extend that across multiple domains and bring you what you need, that consistent security, that automation, that ease of use, and that simplicity. Because what I hear from customers every single day is, give me scale, give me that flexibility, give me that security to take my deployments from a proof of concept to production. So here's what I want to say. So those in IT, you go out and tell your friends in the operational teams to bring on those new use cases, because we're ready, because you're ready. So let's talk about what we're going to launch today, how we're bringing intent-based networking to the IoT edge. There are 4 chapters to this launch. First, we're bringing 3 new CVDs. I did it again, didn't I? Cisco Validated Designs. I know at Cisco we love our acronyms. Customers hate it when we continue to do that. So we're bringing 3 new CVDs for manufacturing, for utilities, and for managing things like remote mobile and mobile assets. So what's a CVD? Here's the way I look at it. It's our promise. Because in my team, we have a bunch of engineers who spend a lot of time simulating your real-world environments in our labs. We spend a ton of hours doing testing, pre-integration, not just with our products, but with third-party products as well. And we document it all together with a blueprint, with configuration guides, so that you can go out there with confidence when you want to go out there and connect and secure those industrial systems, when you want to connect and secure the grid, when you want to go out and manage those service fleets. The second thing that we're announcing is 2 new hardware platforms. Now, these are built for modularity and flexibility of deployment. The first one is actually a next-generation Catalyst industrial Ethernet switch. This, if you look at it, actually has modularity of interfaces. You can get power over Ethernet, you can get data, you can get fiber, all on this. And it has 9 expansion modules that are actually gone right here. We're also announcing our next-generation industrial router. This has flexibility of interfaces. You have LTE, you have fiber, you have copper as well. You want dual LTE? It's an expansion module that goes right to the side. Again, these are built for environments that sit outside of the office space. Now, they both run iOS XE, so you get all of those features of automation and analytics, and they have programmable interfaces. And both of them are actually managed by Cisco DNA Center. So think about it. You get this one instance where you can see a Catalyst 9000, and you can see a Catalyst Industrial Ethernet 3300. Everybody asks about, hey, where's my single pane of glass? That's your single pane of glass. And it's got security features like root of trust, like signed images. So why should you care about these? These things, most often, they don't sit in a data center where you need badged access. They actually sometimes sit in environments that are pretty open. So those security features become even more critical. And for all the IT operators like sitting in the audience, think about this. These are capabilities that you already know. You can now extend your influence into environments that are outside of the office space. We also have the IoT DevNet zone that's now open. So your developers, the ISVs that you know, can build applications at the edge. Cisco has this large ecosystem of channel partners. We actually created a IoT training and certification program so those partners can successfully implement your projects. We designed this. CVDs, products, the DevNet Center for IoT and channel partners to be able to enable your business outcome. Okay, instead of just hearing from me, I want you to hear from a customer who lives and breathes this every single day. So please help me welcome the head of telecommunications for Energy, Dr. Jürgen Tusch. Jürgen, thanks for joining us. So I'll just give the audience about 30 seconds about what Energy is all about. So for those of you who don't know, Energy is one of the leading providers of energy in Germany. You have about 43 billion euros in revenue, so a pretty sizable company and about more than 40,000 employees. So Jürgen, when we first met, you said, I've got a goal. It's a pretty audacious goal. I want to be able to eliminate our carbon footprint. Tell us more.
Yeah. Liz, first of all, thanks so much for having me here today. And I'm really eager to share our story. And that's the story about the Energiewende, or energy transition in Germany. And the goal of the Energiewende is to eliminate the carbon footprint in the energy system. So we do this by replacing traditional power plants with renewables. And this is predominantly wind and solar in Germany. The good thing about solar is that everybody can participate. So you
like
just have to put a PV panel on the roof of your house, and you're a producer. So just out of interest, who of you in the audience has got a PV panel on top of the roof and is already participating? Oh, that's quite a bit. Great. This is the good thing about the renewables. It democratizes the energy system. But certainly there's a challenge, and the challenge is that renewables have a fluctuating generation profile. And to keep the stability in the energy system, we have to keep the balance between generation and supply. So keeping this balance is now difficult with the fluctuating generation of the renewables. And the solution to this is we apply IoT technology. So we use IoT technology to keep the renewables under control, thus keeping the balance and thus keeping the security of supply.
Great. Now, when we've talked, you talked about, you run a pretty sizable operation, so I'm assuming scale and security are pretty top of mind for you.
Absolutely. So we are utility, and security of supply is our top priority. And we are running critical infrastructure. And before you let equipment from a manufacturer into your critical infrastructure, you want to be sure that security is a top priority on his list, and that it's not just an afterthought. That's point one. And point two is our regulators force us to become efficient year over year. So efficiency is very important for us. And the rollout of the technology, the design, and the rollout and operation has to be as efficient as possible.
So I know our teams have a pretty good working relationship. And for those of you who don't know, so we've been working with Jürgen and his team for over the past 2+ years. In fact, your teams have actually educated us on how you manage and secure in your operations, and we incorporated some of that feedback actually into our product. Why don't I let you tell the story?
Yeah, that's an amazing story. So it was really amazing to see our teams work together, so the team from Energy and Westnets and your people from Cisco. So we defined the use cases, derived the requirements out of the use cases, and then your team finally developed the router and the systems. The thing is, there's one small characteristic which seems to be very simple, but which is very important for us, because our team requested a small LED on the front side, which lights up when the router establishes the VPN connection. And so it's ready for operation. This is important for us because our technicians who deploy this in the field, they have to handle various technologies, and so it should be easy. And when they install the router, the LED lights up, they know they've done their job, and then Cisco Prime loads all the software, makes the router operational. So that's really a cool story. And there's one more thing I would like to mention, Liz. While you may think IR stands for industrial router, our team believes IR stands for energy router.
Oh, that's very clever. Actually, brand team, Cisco brand team. If you're in the audience, if a customer wants to put our name on our router, we must be doing something right. So, Jürgen, you were one of the first few who got a sneak preview into our industrial router. Any first impressions?
Absolutely. We like the modularity of the router. Because of we have so many use cases in the energy system, we use a mix of technologies. So it's not just one technology like fiber or 4G, maybe 5G. We use DSL, so the modularity plays in hand. And also there are plans in Germany to build a dedicated radio network for utilities, which will be blackout resilient, based on 450 megahertz. So we already talked to your guys to think about a 450 LTE module for your router so that we can use it in the future network.
Great. So modularity, scale, security and flexibility, those are the things that have gone into the design of this. Jürgen, you've been an awesome partner. Your teams have been great. We look forward to collaborating with you. Don't go away. So what our engineering teams thought is that you should have your very own router. So we want to present to you your first industrial router, actually energy router, and it's signed by David and the engineering team.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thanks very much.
All right, David,
Wonderful.
back to you.
That's marvelous.
Thanks, guys. So Jürgen, thank you very much for the partnership. I think sometimes, Liz, great job. I think sometimes when we think about IoT, we don't really think about the fundamental transformation we're making to entire industries and working on problems like a carbon-free future. So we appreciate the partnership and driving that forward.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you
Great
so much.
work.
Yep.
All right, I got to tell you guys, I got a great job. As you can see, anytime when you work at the center of the networking business, when we're going through this much change, it's an incredible time in the networking business. And Cisco is really committed to redefining how we build networks. And the kind of networks we can build today are very different than even just a couple of years ago. So you saw the new things we launched today. We are thinking about how this impacts the entire networking portfolio, and we are building this intent-based multi-domain architecture that sits at the intersection of users, devices, applications, and data. All right, I want all of you to have a great week. There's tremendous stuff to do here, all the innovation showcases, the hub, DevNet, all the learning labs. Have a great week. Thank you.
All right, welcome back into the TV studio, coming at you from Cisco Live 2019 here in Barcelona, and a phenomenal opening keynote by Dave Goeckeler and Liz Santoni and Roland Accra, and what an incredible amount of future vision that we just got there.
Wasn't that amazing?
Yeah,
I
pretty
really
powerhouse.
loved it. I really loved. I mean, it's totally all about what my customers are looking for. It's the ACI Anywhere SD-WAN IoT innovation. It's really, really good.
We got so much capability. You're going to get this throughout the course of the week. More technology than you can wrap your head around in the next few days. Remember, keep streaming here at CiscoLive.com. Keep hitting us on social media using hashtag CLEUR. We want to hear from you, and we want to hear your thoughts on that incredible opening keynote. Social Media Hub is right behind us. We're going to get that feed, and we'll even read some of your stuff right here on the air. So much to cover in the next few minutes. We are headed toward the first of 11 innovation showcases, the first one coming up here at 11 o'clock in the morning Barcelona time. I don't know where you're tuning in from, but that's going to be on Data Center. We're going to have the great Roland Acra just fresh off the keynote stage, and he is going to be here to take us into that innovation showcase. All right, so we are standing by across the hallway in the Cisco Investments Village, one of the coolest areas here at the show. My buddy Rob Boyd is out there. Rob, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Steve. Hey, we are over here in the World of Solutions, which opened up right after the keynote, and I'm joined by my good friend Hitesh, part of Cisco Investments. We're over here, Hitesh. Thank you so much for joining us, and just for a quick moment, I'm curious if you could give me the setup. What is Cisco Investments in terms of the strategy it plays with Cisco, and maybe even a little bit about what we heard in the keynote because of that?
Sure. First of all, thank you. We always appreciate you coming by. Cisco Investments is Cisco's strategic listening ear to the market. We spend a lot of money on internal innovation, but there is a ton of money being spent on external innovation in the industry. Cisco Investments gives us a chance to cast a wide lens on that innovation and then bring it in to complement what we heard today as an example from Roland, ACI Anywhere, right? HyperFlex Anywhere. We've got companies like Cohesity that are complementing HyperFlex as a result of the investing activities that we do. So that's a little bit of what Cisco Investments represents. It's part of the overall innovation strategy, which includes building great products, buying market-leading companies, partnering aggressively, certainly co-developing with our customers and partners. And the last piece of that is investments, which is Cisco's corporate VC arm.
Well, I tell you what, do you mind waiting for a moment? Because I want to come back to you for a little bit more detail. Because guys, let me tell you, when it comes to understanding what Cisco might be doing next, or understanding how we are taking existing innovation, making it better, or how to see around the next corner, this is the place where that kind of thing happens, because it's talking to these other smart people who don't work for Cisco, but are working with Cisco and can really inform a big part of our next strategy. So we're going to talk to Hitesh in a bit more detail, maybe meet a few of the partners and companies that are here. So hang on, enjoy the show. We'll be right back in a moment.
Rob, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We are going to go back to the investment village shortly. We really want to dive in because Cisco is taking such a leading approach. We are one of the biggest investors in the world in new technologies, and you heard about it here in the opening keynote, why we do that, and thank you, Rob, for bringing it to us. We're going to come back to you in a moment. Right now, though, here in the studio, I've got the fabulous John Manville with me. How are you, friend?
Hello, very well, thank you.
We haven't had a chance to talk since June when we were together in Orlando, so I'm glad to have you back with me right now. For those of you who have not met John, he is one of the new executive sponsors for ITM. So ITM, again, acronyms, you heard about that from Liz, that we love our acronyms. IT Management Program, this is a 3-day program that we have that features a real custom agenda that's built by our Cisco IT team for IT leaders out there in the world. So let's start by what it is that you're doing. We heard about SD-WAN, for example, in the opening keynote. Talk about the technologies that we just kicked off with and how they reflect on what you guys are doing.
Sure, so Cisco, like any other enterprises, has a wide area network. We have issues around cost, around performance, things like that. And we've been working with this great engineering team for about a year now, getting the SD-WAN capability rolled out in our network. We've given them some feedback about what enterprises need to manage this technology, maybe a few bugs here and there, and now it's providing great value for us. We're seeing just the benefits that they described out there. We're seeing these benefits both in performance, automation capability, access to the internet directly from the branches in a secure way. It's a great technology.
It's incredibly exciting, and the curve has been so rapid. We just had this idea very recently. It ramped up quickly. That whole target of raising that top line, lowering that bottom line. What do you think is happening in the industry today that's helping drive us to move these kinds of capabilities faster and faster?
Generally, I think enterprises need to change quicker. There's fierce competition. Cisco is not alone in this. We have so much competition going on around us at the moment. We're luckily staying ahead of it, but we do have so much competition, and this involves cost. We have to be as efficient as we can. We have to do more with less resources. getting the right staff is proving more and more difficult, so there's a whole set of issues that are sort of coming together to make SD-WAN and some of the other technologies like the ACI Anywhere and the HyperFlex Anywhere. We're using the HyperFlex Anywhere as well inside Cisco, as well as ACI, of course. All these technologies, they're being used inside Cisco IT in real-world situations, giving feedback to the BU about what we need and providing value to Cisco as a business as well. It's a great technology.
So as we continue to support the IT community and IT managers in particular, we've got this 3-day program, we've got ITM. Meanwhile, we're here together in Barcelona and we've got people tuning in from all over the world watching. What are people going to see here on the Cisco Live show floor that connects directly to ITM?
So mostly in the ITM space, we'll be talking about real world issues that all the managers, directors and some CIOs in this forum will be hearing about from peers of theirs, from leading people who are leading the sort of bandwagon at the moment, implementing these technologies, future things. My boss, Guillermo Diaz, who's the CIO of Cisco.
Who we're going to have in here a little bit later in the week, right? Of course. We love Guillermo.
Guy. I have to say that, but I want to say that as well.
No, that's right.
You
don't have to say it. He's fabulous.
He is very, okay, good. He's going to be talking this morning, doing a keynote in about half an hour called The Future IT. We have Susie Wee talking about DevNet. We have Roland Ackert talking to us in more detail about what he spoke out here. We have a whole raft of people coming to speak to us, including an MBA coach, which is going to talk to us about leadership and strategy.
Fantastic. Amazing week, John. I'm so glad you had a couple of minutes to stop by the studio and talk with us. We appreciate it. Very exciting things in ITM, and congratulations. We're going to toss it back out to fabulous Rob Boyd, who is back in the investment village. Rob?
Hey, yeah, thank you so much, Steve. Thank you for talking to John Manville. He's a catch, man. Getting to learn from that gentleman is a pleasure, but also learning from Hitesh here at Cisco Investment. So I'm glad we could spend a little bit more time. So you talked a little bit about how the investment strategy really informs a lot of what makes Cisco unique and how we attack markets in ways that keep our competitors off balance, keep us going forward. I wonder if you could shed a light on some of the more innovative things that you guys have been seeing. What are the trends that maybe we can use to look around that corner?
Yeah, no, sure, Rod. So look, investments helps us cast a wide angle lens on the market so we can track emerging trends earlier than others, harness those trends sooner. And a couple of ways we do that is by looking at what's happening in specific technology areas. So let's take data center and security as an example, right? In data center networking, the autonomous network continues to see a lot of traction with customers. ACI Anywhere, HyperFlex Anywhere are examples of that. So we're going to continue to invest in those trends and track companies that are furthering it. We also have new silicon emerging that's allowing us to do more in the network. And then last but not the least, smart NICs are becoming really something we're tracking in the enterprise. Smart NICs offload network functions. They've been adopted in public cloud environments, hyperscale environments. We're tracking those closely in the enterprise. In the compute and storage space, software-defined storage continues to be a very thriving part of that market. Cohesity is a prime example of that. We can walk over and meet them here in just a bit as well. We're also seeing the rise of interest in quantum computing. So an early stage area for us to track, but an area that's seen more investment in the last 2 years than maybe in the previous 10. And we think something great's going to come out of that. So we're watching it very meticulously, if you will. Those are some things that are happening in data center. Security-wise, we've made some cool investments last year, Threat Quotient, Panacea, BehaviorSec. Obviously, cloud identity is important. We made an acquisition in Duo that gives us a chance to go make a real impact in that area. Workload security is a big focus area in that space. Certainly, runtime application security is critical. And then GDPR is driving all kinds of investments and requirements for companies across the globe. So those are some areas that we're tracking closely, both from a data center and a security standpoint.
Well, I tell you what, so I apologize, live TV, we have to keep moving back and forth. And we're going to come back and talk to you a little bit more detail, but just to make sure before we go back and have to wrap on this show to get started on the next show, tell me, where do people go for more information? They're out there. You guys have a great website with a lot of great information.
Yeah, CiscoInvestments.com is the website. You can also email us at ciscoinvests@cisco.com. And we're more than happy to engage with our customers and partners. The portfolio that we've built really belongs to them. We're hoping to put it to work for their benefit.
Excellent, thank you. Your team is awesome, by the way, and I really enjoyed meeting all the companies and the new fresh talent and brains that just get involved through here. We don't have to wait for an acquisition to meet new people. So guys, come check out Cisco Investments when you get a moment. But that's it for this particular show. It does not mean we're done whatsoever. We're having so much fun and there is so much material to cover. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, there's more coming your way.
Welcome to Cisco Live TV studio. Here we are at Cisco Live. It's extremely exciting here. There's so much energy from everyone around. And I'm pleased to have Didi Dasgupta here with me. He's a Vice President of Marketing for Data Center here at Cisco. Didi, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I've got a few questions to you about